Back time to look at racing yesterday, and it centred on Flemington and Victoria and at Randwick and Sydney. And as Max Preswell joins us, Randwick was a day for Mick Dittman.
Yes, certainly a day for the enforcer, and also a day for a horse called Falante. Outstanding.
And as Keith Hillier joins us from Melbourne, Flemington was dominated by the Freedmans and Stephen King.
Was indeed, David, and good morning to you and Max. Yes, 4 for each. Lee Freedman 4, Stephen King 4. We'll have a look at a couple of those later.
And of course, Mick Dittman's week didn't start all that flash. It was like the Battle of Balaclava on Thursday at Wyong.
Yes, and it just goes to show you, David, you can't keep a good man down, and certainly Dittman is a good man and a great jockey.
This was horrendous, involving Matt Bravado, Tony Cavallo and Mick Dittman. Fortunately, Max, all three jockeys, all three thoroughbreds A-OK.
Yes, they were able to walk away from it. It's quite a rare occasion, but the interference happened after the race. Jockey Alan Robinson was suspended. He has appealed, but it just goes to show you the danger to jockey and horse. It doesn't end at the finishing post.
Well, on Friday, Mick Dittman with the neck in a brace, but yesterday on Falante and the Chelmsford Stakes, outstanding performance at Randwick as we go to that race right now.
Port watch the leader over Falante. Electronic about to go 3 deep. Donar will be carted 4 wide, followed by Ken Bell, and then the Penny Super Slew. Dupan under pressure, and Nothing Like a Dane is about to be hooked to the extreme outside as they come over the rise, where Falante race clear. Saintly out of the pack is coming after him quickly, followed by Electronic, and then Donar. Nothing Like a Dane is plodding. Falante the leader. Saintly's a length and a half behind them, trying desperately, but Falante's holding Saintly easily at bay. Falante with Dittman peeping over the shoulder, wins it well over Saintly. Nothing Like a Dane got up for third.
Now set for the Cox Plate in preference to the Caulfield Cup.
Well, that's what the connections are saying, but Jack Denham, the trainer, isn't confirming anything. But the point that he doesn't have to confirm is that Falante is an outstanding racehorse, put together brilliant sections. I don't think Saintly lost any cast here, and there were some handy runs behind them. But Falante is going to be the best in Sydney this carnival. It'll be interesting to see, Keith, whether he can transmit that ability to Melbourne, because many outstanding Sydney horses go to Melbourne, and they just aren't quite the same.
I think he will, Max. He's the best horse in Australia at the moment. Mick Dittman said he could have won by 6 lengths. He said that he is the best horse he's ridden since Red Anchor. He ran a race record. Saintly's battling away. He's getting there, and Nothing Like a Dane. Well, kicked him out the back door last week. He's knocked, and I think we'd better let him in because he's going to win a staying race.
You're a bit fond of that, opening the back door and letting them in again. You'll probably be doing that with Octagonal next Saturday too.
Max, Tommy Smith wasn't all that impressed with Shane Dye, though, from all reports.
Tommy Smith hates to see jockeys giving starts on his horses, and he was it was his first day back after open heart surgery, and I can assure you the heart is working in pretty good order.
Well, Tommy Smith might have been critical of Shane Dye, but certainly John Hawkes wouldn't have been with Darren Beedman outstanding again in the Roman Consul Stakes at Randwick.
Fast and about 7 lengths covers the field as they near the turn. Armadale with the inside running and Jacobite, and they're the joint leaders on the turn by 2 lengths to Monet's Cove. Sovereign State tracks them into the straight, followed by Anthems, who's giving them 6 lengths as they come over the rise. Clang is on his outside, holding him in a pocket as they top the hill. Armadale took a narrow lead over Jacobite. Sovereign State's not finding much. Here comes Anthems. He's about to burst out of the pack, and he'll fly here in a moment. Armadale's in front, 100 out, but look at Anthems. Anthems with giant strides is gobbling him up. Anthems on the outside is charging at Armadale, and Anthems gets up in the last stride to beat Armadale.
That's what we come to expect, though, from Anthems, particularly with Beedman on board.
Yes, now Anthem's finishing section compared favourably with Falante's, and certainly Anthems will be a worthy rival to Falante in the Cox Plate if the Inghams decide to go that way.
He should be sponsored by Kodak. Doesn't he love a photo finish? Burnborough-like finish. He's the most exciting horse in Australia now, and doesn't he give you some heart murmurs?
He certainly gives you some joy too if you've backed him, Keith. He had scope for improvement. Speaking to John Hawkes this morning, he said that he thinks he could be rushing him a little bit quickly to go to the Spring Champion Stakes over 2,000 metres. He figures more on centering around Melbourne, and at this stage the Victoria Derby is a nice race for him. But the Inghams see that Cox Plate, particularly if Octagonal doesn't come up. And when you look at the weight differences between Falante and Anthems, well, Anthems is certainly going to make his presence felt at Moonee Valley.
You might have seen a Derby winner elsewhere yesterday, Max.
Magic of Sydney?
No, in Costa del Lago, at Flemington.
Yeah, we're going to have to be looking at that in a moment. As we mentioned, the Freedmans really enjoying the success at Flemington yesterday, but Mick Dittman was enjoying all the glory at Randwick as we now go to the Tramway Stakes.
To the turn, Peruzzi, a clear-cut leader over Magic Road. 3 deep, Nick's Joy. 4 deep, Celestial Choir. Flight to Fantasy is about to pop off the fence as they come over the rise, where Peruzzi is clear by a length or more to Flight to Fantasy, immediately under pressure. And then Magic Road, Shame on the fence, coming to the 200, and Peruzzi has burst away. Peruzzi put 3 lengths on Flight to Fantasy. Shame is getting home well, and down the outside, Juggler and Cohort, but it's all Peruzzi. And Peruzzi's going to score a brilliant win in the Tramway. Juggler got second, Shame will be third.
Well, now for the Randwick Mile, and a few doubts about Peruzzi over 1600 though, Max.
Oh, there's doubts about Peruzzi yesterday, but it's all a matter of tempo, David. They let Peruzzi trot and canter in the lead yesterday. She had to win under those circumstances. That won't happen in the Epsom, but she's a good mare. But I'd like you to note the run of Juggler, 62 kilos, and just the manner with which he gets to the line. Now, certainly Juggler would have been much more competitive with more pace on up front, but look at him striding out down the outside. He's a very, very good racehorse, and with that weight, you just wonder where he's going to go now. He'll be probably taking on the silk departments, the Volantes and co, but by gee, he's going to be a force too.
Yeah, glad you made those comments, Max. I agree, he's a marvellous horse, Juggler, and to finish like that with 62's top effort.
Well, as we mentioned yesterday at Flemington, the day for the Freedmen, the Ascot Vale Stakes featured and Costa de Lago, the horse that Keith mentioned. Let's see him in fine fettle yesterday at Flemington.
It's Checkmore, a narrow leader. Investigation on his outside. Sober Affair back on the rail. Third, Pimpala Prince wide out 4. Prattler just behind them, followed by Costa de Lago, and then XL Pilot running a bit greenly. Aragon Prince over on the rail, and then My Duke when they came to the 300 now. And here with the 300 metres to go, Sober Affair again gets going on the inside. And Costa de Lago bursts through in the centre. And Costa de Lago races to the lead. Pimpala Prince on the outside. And Costa de Lago in front from Pimpala Prince. And then My Jerk, but in Costa de Lago with 50 to go. He's going to walk it in. And in Costa de Lago wins it brilliantly from Pimpala Prince. My Duke third.
Well, as a 2-year-old, Lee Friedman rated him the equal, if not better than Merlin. He had an operation. He was put aside for 9 months, and he might fulfil that promise. Sorry, Max.
Keith, firstly, the operation, what did it entail?
It was quite minor. In fact, Percy Sykes was in charge of it and said to Lee, if this is an average horse, we'll race him soon. If you think he's going to be pretty good, give him a chance. I'm not sure of the specifics, Max, but it wasn't a life-threatening operation.
Keith, the ground yesterday at Flemington, could it have been slower out wide than where Costa de Lago was?
Well, it was pretty fast. It was officially dead, of course, but his time was equivalent to 8 to 10 lengths faster than the open sprint, which was the point you make, won by a horse on the outside rail.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because when you think of a horse winning his first race as the Freedman Colt did yesterday, and to be mentioning him as a Derby horse, but obviously he is outstanding. Magic of Sydney won very well, and you know how good Anthems is, so we look like we've got another vintage crop of 3-year-olds on the way.
Yes, there are others at Flemington yesterday too, but that was a maiden win and a $250,000 race for Costa de Lago. He's going to make his mark, but this is going to be a vintage year for 3-year-olds as it was last year.
Well, the other feature race yesterday at Flemington was race 5 on the card, the Craigley. It was won by Salius, finishing ahead of Sir Boom, but watch for Alcove, one to watch for in the future.
Toil on the outside has moved up to third. Alacrity behind them with Storm. Abra Magic wider out, staking a claim. Alcove getting up on the inside, then Station Hand. And Doremus and Couchivus are still well back with Firama Knights. Inside the 3 now, and Salius by a length. Sir Boom, who's under the whip, trying hard. And Toil on the outside. Salius still in front of Sir Boom, who's slowly but surely getting to her, but Salius finds a bit. Salius under hands and hills, holds Sir Boom in the last 100. And Salius to finish, she's going too well. Salius gets the money from Sir Boom second. Alcove flashing home a good third, followed by...
She's a good mare, Salius. She started favourite at her past 9 starts. Patrick Payne stacked them up yesterday, a la Races Edge and Durbridge. That style, you just can't get past quality front runners in weight for age races like that. Alcove, the eye catcher.
Keith, quality front runners, they crawl in weight for age races down there. When are some of those Melbourne jockeys going to show a bit of initiative? That was a presentation. Pick the leader in a weight for age race and you pick the winner.
Well, she was 7 to 2 favourite. No one complained, Max.
Well, nobody's ever complaining, but the leader is winning weight for age races. And there's just isn't the competition there. Volante's on the way, though. I think you'll be seeing a bit of competition.
Look,
there.
that wasn't a memorable Craigley field, let's be frank. And when we get Volante down here, and Saintly, and nothing like O'Dane, and some of your other stars, horses of the calibre of this mare, Cellius, won't be able to lead all the way. But she's pretty good. She won the Oaks on class, not on staying ability, and I think that Pat Holden will probably keep her for races up to 2,000 metres, even if that's the Cox Plate.
I see Doremus just going to the line quite nicely there, not under a great deal of pressure.
You did indeed. Glad it didn't escape you, and that was his first run since winning the Cups. And he's back. The slow pace didn't suit him. He was grinding home. I liked his run, Max.
Max, did Alcove slip into that little black book of yours?
Well, Alcove, has been a long time between successes for Alcove. I like to see those sort of horses consolidate their return. But Donar, yesterday in the Chelmsford wide all the way, very good run. When he drops back to handicaps, he's going to be a force. And Costa de Lago, well, you've got to go along with him. And Juggler certainly are horses to follow. They're three pretty fair horses there, and I think placed in the right races will certainly win in the near future.
It's interesting, Max, that Donar is the sole survivor of the Hawks horses in the Melbourne Cup. He's the only one.
What about Anthem still in the Melbourne Cup, Keith?
Is he still in the Melbourne Cup?
46,
well, he's one of only two survivors from the Hawks stable. Overlooked him, Max.
Yeah, I don't think he'll run, though, Keith, if the trainer gets his way, but sometimes John Hawkes doesn't get his way.
OK.
OK, Keith, thanks for joining us from Melbourne. Look forward to your thoughts on the program and again next week.
Thanks, Dave. Cheers, Max.
OK, and to you, Max, always a pleasure.
The pleasure is all mine. Aren't we nice this morning?
We are. It is Sunday. It is the Sabbath. We'll take a break and be back shortly.
Coming up on Sports World, we join Australia's cross-country skiers in the annual Kangaroo Hoppet, and we'll have a laugh at the antics of America's sports stars. But up next, we check out the mania at the National Marbles Championships.